So today we will discuss how to catch a trend early, and we will see some examples. And so this is the chart of Mahindra and Mahindra. And if you have attended the earlier sessions, we actually told at this moment that Mahindra and Mahindra has giving a multi-year breakout, and it will continue moving further up, and it is already recorded in our early webinars, and if you are with us from earlier times, you would know that the reason was, first reason is that multiple times there was a rejection from this level, and at this moment it gave the breakout. But how to identify all this from the earlier stages? Now suppose you are at this moment in the chart, and you can see there was a breakdown from this part. This is a monthly chart. So at this moment there was a temporary downtrend in the stock, and this is not just a correction. And now suppose at this time you are visualizing it, you got a breakout. So you should now, this is the first time that monthly trend is now trying to become up, because after this correction, you can see now it has become up. But now suppose at this moment of time, you are not sure whether to invest in any stock, because you think that price has gone up so much up. This is a common fear among investors, that it can reverse from this point. Now how to find answers to all those questions, whether no, I mean, you can invest at this moment or not. So the important point you should remember that, if I mean any time, I have repeated it again and again, if there is an impulse, so if this is an impulse, and now if we get a corrective structure, always there will be one more impulse. Now let us apply this. If you see this part to this part is the impulse. So if there is an impulse, if this is followed by a corrective structure, there will be always a new impulse. Now let us repeat this again. So if there is an impulse, so you can see from this point to this point, it is very fast. So this is an impulse. If this is followed by a corrective structure, then it will be always followed up by another impulse. So that's why there was, the reason was, after giving this multiple breakout, this was the next impulse in this. So now let us let us try to visualize this using waves. So what we will do, we go to the lower chart, weekly chart, and this, if you see, if you label this as first wave, and now let me go to the daily chart first. What you see that the that this this was a one on weekly, right? This one on weekly is internally divided into 5 subways: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what is the point of that is that this is a bigger uptrend that is started in the stock. Why that is the case? Because you can see, for every impulse, if this is the first impulse, this will be followed by a correction 2, and but internally this one is also divided on a daily time frame in 5 subways. What Let me draw it again. So if you see, this is the first impulse. Now this may be the impulse on weekly or monthly time frame. Internally this will be also divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This may be divided into 5, may be divided into 3, may be divided into 1. But in this case, if you see on a weekly time frame, this first impulse was divided into 5 subways. And let me, so you can see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So internally this weekly wave, weekly one, is divided into 5 subways: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And at this moment, at this, if you are at this moment, now you have think the fifth wave. This is the fifth wave on the daily. So after 5 waves, we are expecting an ABC correction. So that is the second wave on weekly time frame. Now let me go to the now let me go to the daily chart. You can see after this fifth wave, there was a downtrend in the stock from this to this, and this happens, the correction happens in three waves. This is the first, this is the second, and this is again third wave. So that means after every impulse, so if 1 2 3 4 5, so 1 2 3 4 5 is an impulse. After that you saw that there is a correction, three wave correction, WXY. Let me again go to the weekly chart first. So you can see this one wave, this is a first impulse. After every impulse we get a corrective structure. The corrective structure is a minimum three wave, and if you see in this case on the daily, this correction happened in, I mean, in WXY. So basically these three wave structure is nothing but the correction. And you know, after the correction, it will start the next impulse. So our first priority was to trade the next impulse. I repeat again, this is the first impulse. After that you get a corrective structure. This is nothing but a three wave structure, WXY, and after that you have to trade the next impulse. So how do you know that next impulse has started? You have to just do the labeling of corrective structure. Like I have labeled the corrective structure WXY, and once you, this Y wave, the third corrective wave got over, you saw that fresh impulse to the upside started. Let me go again. So you saw at this moment, when you track this on a daily level, this second was over and the next third wave started in this. So till now, is there any other, I mean, any question or any doubt? Anything is not clear? I mean, the participant, can anyone mute or have any questions?
It's okay, sir.
Yeah. So now you understood that the fare which we, let me again go to the monthly chart, the fare which we had at this point, whether we have to, whether we can invest in this stock or not, how this fare is reduced, because after this correction happens, after this impulsive move, if there is a correction happening, we always know that now this again one impulsive move can come. And how can we know that this impulsive move has started? By just looking at the lower charts, looking at the lower charts, and you can see that this three wave correction is over, and then the next impulse started. So this was one of the stock that we gave. Now in a similar way, let us apply the same. I recently gave bail also as a Diwali pick, and you see how well this is performing. And the reason, let me also do, I mean, what is the reason? Identify this structure. What we said, that for every impulse, if there is a correction, we always get that next impulse. So now let us go to the monthly chart of Mahindra and Mahindra. See, this structure and this structure, it's almost identical, almost identical. You can see this wave followed by a corrective structure and impulse. Now again, see, this is also similar on bail. This is the impulse. This let us go to the lower time frame to see when the correction ended in this. Now if you go to the weekly chart, now this part is a correction in this, and you can see correction is minimum three waves. So now if you draw this trend line, you can see this is the three wave structure in this. And once this three wave structure got over, the next fresh impulse started. Now if you go further, dig down it to the daily chart, at this moment you can see this was the fresh impulsive move that started in this. And this is the best time to, because this Now our what is our analysis says that every impulse followed by a correction gives us the next impulse, and at this moment this next impulse started because the three wave correction is over. So see, similar patterns, similar structure on every chart. Now I let us go to another. Now Godfrey Phillips is one another chart that we gave as a Diwali pick. So what is the reason? See, again the same thing applies. Impulse followed by a correction and next impulse. Now this structure is different from this structure because this is a five wave structure, and you can see this is actually a triangle structure, A B C D E. So basically corrective waves are of I mean three waves or five waves. And if you don't know about these corrective structures, there are I have already conducted earlier sessions where all these corrective patterns that are formed are already discussed in detail. And if you don't know about these corrective patterns, then you can watch those sessions. But the important point that needs to be remembered is that every impulse followed by a correction, so that next impulse it will give the next impulse. And now if you go to the lower chart, you the moment it gave the breakout here, you knew that this triangle structure is over now and next impulse has started. So if you see, I remember that I gave this talk around this level, and in a very few days it went up to 1900 also. So so simple analysis that every impulse followed by a correction gives, I mean you can go for the next impulse, but you cannot jump in at this moment, because suppose our analysis is that this is the impulse, so we have to wait that whether this correction is over or not. Now in case of my Mahindra and Mahindra, see, this was also a correction, but see it went from around 1000 levels to 260. So during corrections can be long also. So just assuming that this is an impulse followed by correction and we will get the next impulse, you have to wait for this correction to over also. And how do we know that this correction over? We have to go to the lower charts and see whether three wave correction is over or not. Now, similarly, if we apply the same concept, let me go to first. We also recommended Wipro at a lower level. The reason was actually different. You see this high volume bar on Wipro. So this was discussed that in a downtrend, there is a concept known as volume spread analysis, and that says that if you get a high volume bar and in an existing downtrend, it usually means that there can be a temporary pause. And you can see from this, actually it start reversing. The reason is that this is an accumulation going on, because suppose the volume is so much and this is a selling bar, then don't you think that it will keep on moving down? But instead this reverse happens, because this is not actually selling, this is absorption happening. This selling is absorbed, and this is actually buying happening by the big institutes. And once this buying is over, you can see the selling is over, buying they keep on buying, and price in few days went up. The general logic people apply is that they think that this is a big bar, so they think that in the coming days the price will move down, and they sell their holdings like this. But you in few days you see the price again reverses. So this is one another stock that we recommended. And last week we had given voltas also. Now see, apply the same logic. uh, every impulse followed by a correction, so we gave at this moment here. But now see, after we had also recommended that buy this stock on dips, because we thought that this is the impulse and there will be a dip, also known as correction in this. And after that, no, most of the people don't, they moment they see this, they are out of the stock, because this is very frightening also. And if you don't know exactly what is happening, you may not withstand this. So to gain this, you have to, if you are in a stock from this point, so you have to also absorb this part also, because looking at this, many people will be scared and they will leave the stock. But now if you know that every impulse followed by a correction, and then again you will get the next impulse. So this is a plain idea that applies to every stock. Now even if you see the monthly chart of Nifty, let me apply this same on. So you see, this is, let me zoom a little. So this is the impulse is followed by correction, and then you again get the next impulse. So now see, apply, let us see other chart. See, this is bail. You saw this impulse followed by correction. Is this structure similar to what is Nifty forming at this moment? And now if you go to the weekly chart, how do you know this correction is over? So this this is a three-wave structure, 1, 2, and this 3. And once this third is over, you can again capture this next impulse. You move to the upside, and again now see this part, and now again go to this bail. Let me remove this and just identify the similarity between structure this and Nifty. They look so identical, right? Impulse, this part looks so much identical here and here, right? This is a corrective structure, and this is also a corrective structure. So at this moment, you always know that this is an impulse followed by a correction for the next impulse. So is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So any doubts, any doubts?
Not yet.
Any other, we have some time, so any stock you want me to apply this logic?
So what is happening to gland fiber?
So now we have some rules. Like, what is the rule for impulse? That this first impulse, if there is an impulse, it should not be retraced 100%. Now see, is this part retraced 100%? So first thing is
Yeah.
that this now no longer becomes an impulse. This is an correction. So it means now you cannot say that you will get the next impulse, right? It may happen, but by our logic, this is, we have to always wait for an impulse, then correction, then next impulse. But we don't have yet found the first impulse. Now suppose from this part, if we get something like this followed by this, now at this moment, if this part is over, we can again say that it will go up. Now the first thing is that this is not an impulse. Now you are asking me why this is falling. So let us go down to lower charts. See, one important point is that I also told, like, in when this trend line broke, right? If you right, if you
Yeah.
see, now I also told that we cannot say that this correction can sometimes be long also. Now see, in the monthly chart of Mahindra and Mahindra, just focus on this part. I told that we cannot assume that this is a correction and we have to wait for this three wave to get over. Now see on this chart, Gland Pharma, this three-way correction never got over, because now if you draw trend line, you never got the breakout on any side, right? So this correction never got over, and it in fact broke this
Base.
base also. So
100.
now this stock is not, now this stock automatically becomes out of our investment. Why? Because this part is not an impulse, and all our analysis say that impulse should be followed by a correction that should not retrace 100%. Now we have to, now for as per Elliott, the next impulse will definitely, now see there are corrective patterns also. Let me draw quickly. Now see, this is fast move, this is followed by a slow move that has broken this. Now the next, so this, if this you label this as A, this is a B wave, and in this structure we will again get a C wave that will go up, but this is just a correction, and after this you will again get down wave. Let me again repeat. Now you see this is a wave, right? So if you label this as A, this is the B wave now. Why this
Right,
is
sir.
A and not 1? Because this retracement is gone 100%. So labeling
100.
automatically changes to A, B. Now there is a wave up move coming, that is C. So when will this happen? Now let us see. So if you draw this trend line, you will soon, anytime from this, you will get a breakout, right? So this is the part, if you get an impulse followed by a correction, so you will trade this. But also remember, long-term investment is not possible here as of now, because this is a correction and not impulse.
Right, sir.
So is this clear?
Can you look at DMAT and Titan? Because I think after impulse wave, they are on consolidation phase.
Yes. So now as per our logic, if this part is an impulse, right? So now we are in correction, and correction is three waves. So if is the three wave correction over? It's not over. This is the three wave
It's
correction.
on.
This
Yeah,
is a
it's ongoing.
yeah. So you never know whether this correction will get over as of now, or it will, like in case of Gland Pharma, it kept on going like this, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you never know what can happen to DMAT. Any wrong news, anything, and now many people argue that this is very fundamentally good company, like all these things, but you cannot in share market, in stock market, you cannot assume things, because this is just a hope, right, that this will again go up. But you have to follow the rules. The rule says this correction should be over, and then only we will get the next impulse.
You are looking at 1 month time frame. Can you change it to a day?
See, we have to look the bigger picture also. The bigger picture will supersede any other. So let me shift to the daily. Now tell me, what is your question?
Yeah, the run up went from 3300, 31, 3300,
Okay.
to 4500, 4600, and then
Right.
it is consolidating, and then it break the 4100
Okay. Okay.
support.
So this. So see, this is a move. This is one move, right? Let
Yeah,
me. This is also one move, right? So if this is an impulse, so what is this? This is the three wave
this is the,
correction.
yeah,
So now for every impulse, If we get a correction, what are we expecting?
Another run up.
Another
Another
run up.
impulse.
So when will we get that? Once this correction is over.
Hmm.
But now we assume this will go over, but there is always a chance like this, which will break this part also. So unless and until this correction is over, you cannot say this next impulse will come. This next impulse can come from this part also, and in that case, this will be a correction only, because if this is an impulse, this correction cannot go below this. And how will we know? Because we cannot just see the daily chart. We have to see what is happening on a weekly chart, or what, for that instance, what is happening on a monthly chart, because we have to see longer time, a longer picture also. Now we know that this is an impulse, so now we will probably get a 3-wave up move and then again down move to complete the structure. Or there are other possibilities also. As of now, we have to just focus on this understanding, but looking at this chart, one thing that is clear is that this is in a correction on a higher chart, higher time interval. This is a corrective period, and during corrective period, most probably your stop losses will get hit if you are investing, because it will go up, down, up, down, up, down. So, but best period in this will again come if this correction is over and again and next impulse start. So you have to identify like this. Once this correction is over, that will be the best time to enter the stock. And remember this thing, that this can be time consuming also. Now let us count the months. This started in May 21, ended in June 22. So it's almost 13 months. And let us see the same on DMART. It started in October 21 and it is November 22. So see how long the corrective period can be. So you cannot invest or stay invested in a stock when that is in a corrective phase, because it will not give you any return in this period.
Can you also look at Titan?
So Titan, all these charts are equivalent to, I mean, a Nifty chart. So you see this is impulse. This is followed by a correction, right? Now go to the weekly chart. This is your, so the correction was over here, right? You can see this 3-wave structure, and then again up move. Now let us go to the daily chart. So is this fast move or a slow move? You can say this is a range, right?
It's a slow one.
So this is a correction. Now correction is separated by impulse. So after this correction is over, we can again get impulse. But we have to also look that why are we saying that this is an impulse? Because this correction will not go below this. Now suppose this slowly goes below this, then this logic changes. So we have to wait whether this correction is over on the upside, then we will get the impulse to the upside. So you have to, like I did the exercise for, I showed how the correction ended for this stock, how this correction ended here. in Godrej Phillips. So you have to analyze on those deeper levels for your stock also. Unless and until you do that, all these are just see on a higher, like I am just predicting this, but you have to do that wave counting on a lower levels and see exactly where the correction ended and how can you trade the next move. Now see this part. This exactly looks like this is a correction, right? So you always expect this up move in this if you get this chance, right? Now see this part and compare this with Titan. This looks exactly similar, right? As of now it looks similar, unless and until it keeps on doing like this, then it is different. But at this moment it looks exactly similar like this, and suppose you start getting this up move in this, then you know that impulse has started in this, right? So always identify. Now see, compare these charts with the charts that have already done well. Now if you think Mahindra and Mahindra have done well, now try to analyze this chart, this pattern. Now see how the correction ended in this. Apply this logic to your same chart. Is this same happening here? It looks like this is happening. So what sort of breakout was there on that chart? Apply that learning on this chart, and that's the only way to move further. So do you have any question in this Titan chart? I mean, what was your analysis, and was there any question on that?
Essentially, if you look at Titan, and if you could just look at it at a weekly and a daily basis, it went. There was a run up from 1900 to 2800. Just prior to that, it fell from 2600 to 1900, and then it retraced back.
Right.
Now it is consolidating in the phase of 2600, 2500, and
Right.
it is hitting that support line of 2523 or 2550 multiple times, and it is retracing back to 2650, and then it's moving in that range of 2550 and 2650. And
Let
I think
me
this is a time.
yeah, first let me give you a advice that there is nothing known as support, and let me prove it that to you. Now see this chart of Bale. If you think support exists, you now see this has broken this one, this has again broken this two, but has the stop gone down or up? So
It's
the
gone up.
first thing you should remember, and this is the exact study you should follow. There is nothing known as support. There is nothing known as resistance. And if you go deeper into the corrective patterns, they always break this part, because that is what is being taught to you, that support breaks, it means bearish. Try to learn this factor. This major trend is this part, and this is just small part. So this major part is you have to focus, not the small supports. So this is a small period and major trend is up. That means you will get upside. Now again apply the same to Titan. Major part looks up, and even if it breaks this part or whether it breaks this part, it does not become bearish. It becomes bearish only if this major part is also gone, which is very far as of now. Till then it is
I
bull.
was So when I said support, I was referring to a range of 2500, not an exact number, but a range that it is moving in that 2500 range, and then it is returning back to that 2700 range.
See,
If you look,
I am again repeating that you don't have to now suppose you want to take a bearish trade here, right? You are saying you will take a bearish trade, right? Now suppose
actually,
this,
I am a bullish stock. I'm bullish in Titan.
yeah.
I'm not bearish. I'm bullish.
So if you are bullish and you are invested in this part, right? So
Yeah.
where have you invested?
I bought at 1870.
1870. So for you, you have to this part you have now. Let me. So if you are invested at this point, you have to. It's up your choice to exit here, because let me give the reason. After this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up move comes the time of correction, and this correction will be long period. Now identify the corrective ended on September 22 and the month current is going on December. So it means for 3 months, October, November, December, you did not get a single rupee return in this.
Mhm.
The reason is it's in a correction. And I always say, now I in this session also I said that whenever stock enters correction, you won't get any return in that. So if you are,
Titan for me is a long-term bet, and the reason that I was looking at this part and expecting another movement is because I plan on adding more at this level.
yeah, so if you have a deeper long-term bet, then it may again give one up move that will again break this top. As of now, it looks like it
Yeah,
it will again go about to 2800, but that may
yeah.
be the last move in this. The reason is, see, this, if you see this top and now compare this top with MACD, it is slightly giving divergence on the weekly chart, which says that this may be the last wave in this, and after this a deeper correction can come,
Mm-hmm.
which may break,
MACD in a
which,
divergence because I thought it's a straight line and not an falling line.
see, if you draw, I mean, now you draw this at the top, you can see this momentum not reaching this point also, but price is gone up.
Yeah,
So this is divergent, but divergence immediately will not mean that it will fall.
reflect in the price.
So you
Yeah,
have to see on a daily chart, has it given any bearish sign? But as of now, it has not given any bearish sign, because you see this is impulse followed by a correction. And now when exactly will it give a bearish sign? Now suppose it breaks this range in an impulsive wave down. Let
yeah,
me, if it breaks in an impulsive wave followed by a
yeah.
correction, then this is a first
Then it
bearish
was.
sign to me. Now
Yeah,
let us see this part. This also, now this part is also bearish, because you see impulsive move and this is followed by a correction. So most probably you will break this again. And now see, this also looks like, now suppose this happens, this also looks like an head and shoulder, so it may fall some, but you never know that this is a initial thought. But if you go to the weekly, this looks bullish to me as of now, because this is impulse
yeah,
followed by correction.
yeah.
But
Exactly my thoughts.
yeah, but overall, if you see, this is not the best time to add more, and best time to add more will be once a bigger correction will come, because now you have to understand the momentum is not that much strong as of now. When was the momentum very strong? You can see at this moment, if you compare this MACD here, the momentum was very strong at this moment. So that means that after this correction, you again, now you also asked that it gave this retracement, it again went up. The reason was this MACD. Check, the momentum is very strong here. So you always expect after this correction, it will again go up.
Mm.
Uh, I think the session should, I mean, less than 1 minute. So we should stop here. So thank you for attending. And if you have any doubts, put that as a comment on this video. I will upload on YouTube, and let's see them.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Yeah.